into impactful research for societal benefit that will be presented by our Associate Professor Dr. Tham Chow Ling from University Putra, Malaysia. And please allow me to introduce our speaker. Dr. Tham Chow Ling is an Associate Professor at the Department of Biomedical Science and Head of the Cell Biology Unit at the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, University Putra, Malaysia. She obtained her PhD in molecular medicine from University Putra, Malaysia, and she has over 80 publications, mostly in Q1 and Q2 journals, and holds several patents and copyrights. Dr. Tham is committed to translating her research findings into products that benefit the society. So without any further ado, please welcome Dr. Tham.
Okay, terima kasih kepada Puan Pengerusi for the very kind introduction. Yeah, so selamat petang dan salam sejahtera kepada professors, doctors, ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee for giving me the opportunity to share my personal experience in transforming fundamental knowledge into impactful research for societal benefit. Yeah, because I know that most of us here are researchers or the people who are working very closely with research. So before I start my presentation today, I would like to ask one question to everyone here. Okay, so as a researcher, what makes you feel proud? Okay, let us spend a little bit of time to think about this question, and then I will share my personal insight, okay, towards the end of today's presentation. Okay. Yeah, so as a researchers from universities, so one of our fundamental role is to create knowledge, okay? So we produce knowledge from the research that we do every day, okay? So from there, we also need to find a way to disseminate the knowledge that we produce. That's why we publish, okay? However, all sorts of knowledge can be produced every day. Only a small portion of the knowledge that we produce will be called impactful knowledge. So what makes a knowledge impactful? Impactful knowledge, okay, is produced when the knowledge is produced according to the real need of our society or the market, okay? So impactful research will lead to impactful publications. And most of the time, impactful publication will not just stop at publication, and it can be translated into something that will bring benefit to our society, okay? So from the fundamental role of the researcher, I would like to zoom in a bit to the dual role that researchers play. Okay, so I would like to bring out the meaning of dual role by using this image here. So we can see a tree. So according to this image, a tree can be divided into two parts, which is the upper part that can be seen, and also the lower part, which is underground and cannot be seen. So as a researchers, so we have been trying to work on different research problems, and we try to solve different research problems every day. However, are the problems that we are trying to fix the real problem of our society? And this is very important because, like what I mentioned earlier, and knowledge will only become impactful when it is created based on the real needs of our society, okay? So therefore, as a researcher, so one of our dual role is we need to identify real research problem, okay? From there, we will produce impactful knowledge and produce impactful publication. And very importantly, we should not stop at publication. We should take one step forward to apply the knowledge that we have produced into the real world to solve real world problems. And from there, we will do impactful research for societal benefit. Okay, so in my sharing today, I'm going to share my limited experience on how do I transform fundamental research from my own research into impactful publication for societal benefit by identifying the real needs of the market or our society, okay? So I would like to start with my sharing with the first example, which is a research innovation, okay? So this is an innovation, which is a collaboration between UPM and NexusWise, okay? So in this innovation, we bring a natural product all the way from fundamental research into a commercial product, okay? So this product is known as Elsevier, which is a nutraceutical ingredient available in the market, both locally and internationally. Okay. So I would like to share a bit on the importance of allergic disease first, because Exifola is meant to use for allergic skin, okay? Just a little bit, okay? So the prevalence of allergic disease has increased drastically over the years, and it is estimated that up to 40% of our total population suffer from allergic diseases, including asthma, eczema, allergic rhinitis, and many more, leading to negative impact, for example, increased medical costs, loss of productivity, and reduced quality of life. So as a local researcher, I'm concerned about the current scenario of allergy in Malaysia. However, in Malaysia, the research of allergy has not been paying much attention. Okay? Because of that, me and my team, so we analyzed the scenario of allergy in Malaysia and we produced a paper. Okay? So from here, we identify the research gaps, okay, in the current scenario in Malaysia and also the way to move forward. Okay? So we identified two needs based on our review. Firstly, so there is a need for an updated population-based prevalence study in Malaysia. And secondly, Malaysia must prepare for better interventions for allergic patients in our country. So I have identified the needs. So what do I do next, okay, in order to transform the knowledge that I've identified into societal benefit? Okay. So just now I talked about better intervention, right? So we need to know a little bit more about the current intervention that we use for allergic diseases. So pharmacotherapy is the mainstay treatment for treating allergy. However, it does not treat the allergy diseases itself. It only helps to relieve the symptom, okay? And it also comes with side effects. The only disease-modifying treatment that can cure allergy is immunotherapy. However, it is very, very costly and it might lead to anaphylaxis. Okay? So because of that, nutraceuticals derived from medicinal plants are gaining more popularity among the consumers. Okay? So our team has been working on a local medicinal herb called Melicope telefolia, or we call it tenggek burung. I'm not sure whether, yeah, so do you eat tenggek burung here? Okay, it is not a very popular ulam, but we made it popular. So what do? So tenggek burung has been traditionally used for a variety of medical complications. And scientifically, it has been proven to have anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and many more properties. So back in 2011, our team, so we published for the first time, so the identification of a series of novel bioactive acetophenols from the leaves of tenggek burung for the first time, okay? So from there, so we patented our findings, and one of the acetophenol called THGA has caught our attention because it has very, very good dual 5-LOX and COX-2 inhibitory effect, okay? That's why we patented this finding. So what is 5-LOX and COX-2? So 5-LOX and COX-2, they are the enzymes that play important role in inflammatory pathway. Okay, so they are both derived from arachidonic acid. Okay, oh, okay. Okay. Tak boleh nampak pointer ya. Can you see? Okay, it's okay. Okay. Pointer option. Yeah, okay. So they are both derived from arachidonic acid pathway, and the activation of COX will lead to the production of leukotrienes and lead to allergic diseases, including asthma. So we have proven that THGA is a very potent 5-LOX inhibitor. That's why, at the time, we speculated that THGA might be a good candidate in treating allergic diseases, specifically asthma. So how do we start? So this is the diagram that summarizes all the important events in the pathogenesis of asthma. So we tackle one by one. So by introducing THGA, we found out that it is able to inhibit airway inflammation in acute asthma. Okay, we published our findings. And then, not only that, we also found out that THGA is able to inhibit airway remodeling in chronic asthma, which is a more severe version of asthma. And we also published our findings. Okay. And next, we also proved that THGA is able to inhibit epithelial airway, dysfunction. Okay. All right. And last but not least, And this is a very important finding to us, whereby we prove that THGA is able to inhibit mast cell activation. And mast cell activation is a very process in many allergic diseases, okay? Not only limiting to asthma. Okay, so we published our finding, and then we further demonstrated that THGA exerted the anti-asthmatic effect through specific inhibition of a signaling molecule called LET. So this is a very important finding at the time, because THGA is the first ever mast cell stabilizer that has been reported to specifically inhibit LET. Okay, so we patented this finding in 2017. So we have patented that THGA is a potential mast cell stabilizer. So what is so special about mast cell stabilizer? So let us understand the role of mast cells in diseases. So mast cells is an important immune cells in many immune-related diseases, especially allergic diseases, including asthma and atopic dermatitis. So as you can see here, so asthma together with atopic dermatitis and allergic rhinitis, they are collectively known as atopic triad, where they share the same pathogenesis pathway and involve the activation of mast cells. So we have proven that THGA is able to inhibit asthma, right? So it is highly probable that THGA should be also effective in inhibiting atopic dermatitis through the inhibition of mast cell activation. Yeah. So before we decided to further explore the effect of THGA on atopic dermatitis or not, so we need to ask ourselves, so what is the market need in terms of the treatment and intervention of eczema patients? So we need to know in order for us to know our future direction, okay? So let me introduce a bit what is atopic dermatitis, yeah? So atopic dermatitis is also called as eczema. So it is a very common skin allergic disease among the children, okay? So if the condition does not improve by adolescent, so the patient will suffer from allergic eczema condition for the lifetime, okay? So as you can see here, so eczema patient, they will need to suffer all this skin inflammation and lesions, so with continuously pain and unbearable itch all the time, okay? And unfortunately, eczema is an allergic disease that cannot be cured. So what they can do is that they can only manage their condition, and mainly by using corticosteroids. However, prolonged use of corticosteroids can lead to many side effects. Therefore, it has been reported that eczema patients, they have this so-called steroid phobia, okay? So this is resulting in non-adherence to steroid therapy and worsen their condition, okay? So from here, we identified that there is an increasing need of effective non-steroidal approach with similar effectiveness as steroid. So one of the alternative is from natural products, okay? Yeah, so now we have identified the market need. So we want to prove the effect of THGA on atopic dermatitis. So we perform an in vivo experiment where we prove that with oral and topical application of THGA, so it significantly improves the skin lesion of atopic dermatitis mice. Yeah, so up to this point, so we have proven that THGA is a very potent molecule with anti-allergic effect, particularly for asthma and atopic dermatitis. But THGA is a pure compound, and we know that the process to bring a pure compound all the way to a drug is a very costly, lengthy, and complicated process. And we have a lot of promising data, and we do not want to stop here. So what do is that we look at what we have, and we decide how to move forward. So we have solid scientific evidence for more than 10 years. So we have the active ingredient of tenggit burung identified, okay, which is called THGA. And we have patented the use of THGA as a mast cell stabilizer. So what's next? So we came across the idea to produce a tenggit burung standardized extract rich in acetophenone. And this enrichment is very important because originally, the tenggit burung crude extract itself has very low level of THGA, and that's why if you use the crude extract of tenggit burung, it has no anti-allergic properties. Only crude extract with enriched THGA will have the anti-allergic property, okay? So we have this idea, so we need to look for people to invest on our research idea. So in 2020, we pitched our idea to a potential industry partner called NexusWise. NexusWise, they do not produce finished product. Instead, they are a nutraceutical ingredient supplier. That means they produce all the ingredients, they supply to the supplement company, and the supplement company will produce their products. So they are the manufacturer of all these ingredients, okay? So we talk to them, and it is not a quick process because for the company, they do not only consider about the technical feasibility of the idea. Yes, we have a lot of evidence, so it is going to work. However, to the company, they need to think a lot because it involves a lot of investment and money. So they need to think about the sustainability of the raw materials. Okay, so how do they get tenggek burong later in the future? And how about the production costs? Because it involves enrichment. And how about the market acceptance? Can people accept tenggek burong? And how about the market demand? Yeah. So we had many rounds of discussion between UPM and Exercise. And after many months, they got back to us. They told us that, yes, they see the potential of this product after their internal discussion between the marketing team with the R&D team. So they had decided to fund us. So they pump in the money to develop this project together with us. Okay. So one of the challenge for a project with commercialization potential is that, so we need to make sure that the method that we use in the lab must be able to be translated to an industry setting in the future. Okay, so to make sure that the technology can be translated, so Nexus-wise, they have their R&D department, so they work together with us from the beginning to make sure that what we are doing in the lab can be seamlessly translated, in the industry setting. Okay, so from there we save a lot of time. Okay, and after many rounds of discussion, so we have decided to use resin technology to produce the enrichment. So we have produced more than 10 different extracts by using different combination of resins. And we do screening, and we identify one of the extract with the best anti-allergic activity, which is called Exifolia. So as you can see here, if you compare with the normal crude extract of tenggek burong, Exifolia has 5-fold higher of THGA and 9-fold higher of THCPA. So that's why they have better anti-allergic effect. So of course, we need to check the anti-allergic effect of Exifolia in vitro and in vivo model. So what we did is that, so we, and this one put Exifolia in mast cells. So this is a very interesting data that I would like to share. So we found out that Exifolia can be used up to 200 microgram per ml. However, the crude extract of tenggek burong can only be used up to 50 microgram per ml. So this is a good news for us because it means that Exifolia has a better safety profile. So most likely it will be more safer to human, okay, in comparison to the crude extract. And next, we check the anti-allergic effect of Exifolia by using in vitro model of mast cells. And then, interestingly, we found out that the crude extract itself has no anti-allergic effect. So this is expected because I told you that the level of THGA is very low in the crude extract itself. Okay, so we checked Exifolia, and we found out that Exifolia has significant anti-allergic effect, and the effect is almost comparable to the active compound itself, which is THGA. Okay. And next, we further validate the effect of Exifolia in animal model. So like what you can see here. So Exifolia, when given orally, so it can significantly improve the skin lesions in the mice without any treatment. And the effective dose is as low as 20 milligram per kg. Okay, the dose is very important because the dose will be translated into human. So it must be low when, it comes to animal experiment. Okay, otherwise, so people will have to telan a lot of pills in order to have the effect. All right. So lastly, so we need to understand how does it work. Okay, so we perform mechanism of action study to find out that the mechanism of Exifolia. And from this experiment, we found out that the bioactive compound responsible for the anti-allergic effect of Exifolia in eczema is THGA. Okay, that means, yes, the active ingredient that contributed to the anti-allergic effect in Exifolia is THGA. Why? Because they both target on the arachidonic acid pathway. Okay. So to summarize, So our team has demonstrated that THGA inhibited mast cell degranulation, leading to the suppression of allergic diseases, including asthma, anaphylaxis, and atopic dermatitis. And with NexusWise, so we produce Elsevier, which is a tenggek burong extract rich in acetophenone, including THGA, and we have proven that it is very good for treating atopic dermatitis. So let me summarize the research journey from the end until the beginning until the end. So our team started from a lot of fundamental research, okay, on the plant itself and the active ingredients. Okay, we produce a lot of publications, okay, so and also produce a patent. So with the publication and patent we have, we go to pitch to industry to convince them to fund our research, okay, and we work together with the company and produce another patent, so on Elsevier, okay. And after that, we perform in vitro and in vivo efficacy study, and all these parts were led by UPM, okay. However, the journey has not ended yet. We are still a long way to go. So last year, NexusWise has acquired a big funding from the government to perform clinical trial on eczema patients, because this finding is very important to penetrate into countries with stricter regulations, for example, US and also Singapore, okay? And recently, NexusWise also acquired another marketing fund from MIDF. So this fund will be used to penetrate Elsevier into the international market, because the government see Elsevier is a very novel product of our country, okay? So yeah, so the journey is still ongoing. I'm very thankful for NexusWise to do this together with us. So I managed to have a catch up with NexusWise 2 weeks ago. So to understand about the current status of Elsevier, because Elsevier has been available in the market not long, a few months. So according to NexusWise, Elsevier is currently selling at the price of 3,000 ringgit Malaysia per kg. So it is quite a bit pricey because of the technology. However, it still receives very good demand and feedback from the consumers, not only the local market, but also international market, especially the country they are familiar with tenggek burong, such as Indonesia, okay? So we believe that the popularity of Elsevier is contributed by 4 main factors. The first one is market need. There is a market need of the eczema patients on non-steroidal approach with similar effectiveness as steroids. The next is exclusivity, because the other competitor, they are not able to produce another tenggek burong extract with high anti-allergic effect, because only NexusWise and UPN, we hold the technology of the enriched, tenggek burong. So this is what we call exclusivity. People can only buy from us if they want to find a tenggek burong extract with anti-allergic properties. Okay, another is novelty, because this is the first ever nutraceutical ingredient in the market made from tenggek burong. Okay, and also NexusWise has distributed a lot of all these samples to the customers, and then according to the customer, they reported very good testimonials. So we are very confident in this, because the efficacy of Elsevier in THGA is supported by more than 10 years of solid scientific evidence. Okay. Yeah. So the commercialization of Elsevier does not only help the eczema patients to solve their skin issues and helping them to live a healthier life. At the same time, we also help the local community. Why? Because traditionally, people planted tenggek burong in a small scale basis because no demand. People just eat as ulam, that's all. Okay? But because of the commercialization of Elsevier, NexusWise has to engage a big number of farmers from kampong, okay, to cultivate tenggek burong at big basis. So under this one, contract farming. So indirectly, we also help the government to boost up the economy in kampong and local community, okay? Yeah, so to summarize this one, our research innovation. So we have produced talents, publications, we produced a shared pattern between NexusWise and UPM. Okay, so NexusWise has signed a licensing agreement with UPM, so they will share part of the annual commercialization profit of selling Elsevier with UPM in the form of royalty. Okay, and this project has been awarded the best industry linkage at UPM last year. So we are proud that we have produced the first ever Tengek Burong nutraceutical ingredient in the market called Elsevier. And we know that there are many, many more products. So we'll be launching soon in the market. So by using Elsevier as the raw ingredient. So there are some functional foods and many more to come. Okay. So this is the first example that I would like to share on how do we transform fundamental knowledge of research innovation for societal benefit. Okay. So apart from research, I also like to do teaching. So that's why, so we also have our own teaching innovation. So we call it Aseptic Tech VR. So Aseptic Tech VR is a virtual reality application for education and training on cell culture aseptic technique. So what is that? Okay. So how do I have this idea? Is because I'm the course coordinator for a course called Cell and Tissue Culture. I believe that many of us here know how to do cell culture. Okay, so cell culture is a very important skill set for our students, biomedical science students, because one of their career pathway after they graduate is R&D, and they need to do research, especially cell culture. Okay, however, so in reality, so you can see here, so how we perform cell culture is like we perform cell culture in this one biosafety cabinet. We call it BSC. So this BSC will create a sterile environment for us to perform cell culture to avoid contamination. However, for our students, because of limited facilities, BSC is very expensive. It is only reserved for research use. For students in the practical classes, so they have to pretend that they perform cell culture technique on open bench. Okay? We realize that this is significantly reduced student interest and also learning efficiency, so leading to many problems, including poor aseptic technique and contamination. And very importantly, we teach the student a lot, but at the end, they are not able to translate the knowledge into real setting. When they are standing in front of a BSc, they don't know what to do because they do the aseptic technique all this while on open bench. So we see this as a very important issue. As their lecturers, we want to help them. So that's why we came across with the idea to produce a immersive, simulate working environment of BSc by using virtual reality. And we call this app Aseptic Tech VR app. Okay, we believe that by combining this aseptic tech and also the traditional teaching method, so this will help to bridge and connect the missing piece of experience of students in performing cell culture. Okay, so we pitched this idea to the Center of Academic Excellence of UPM. So they funded us in the development of this Aseptic Tech VR app. Okay, so we produced this and developed this app by using gaze-based interaction. So I'm going to share what is gaze-based interaction by sharing this video clip. Yeah, can I share this video clip? So actually it comes with sound, but it's okay. I'm going to do a little bit of voiceover. So as you can see here, cannot be seen, yeah? Yeah, the technical team, yeah. Tak boleh nampak ya. Yeah, okay. So as you can see here, so you can see a like red colored dot. Okay. So this is how we interact with the app. So we interact with the app by using our eye and head movement when we put on the headset, VR headset. So you see? So the students can not only like learn how to do cell culture technique with the step-by-step guide instruction over there, so they can also interact with the app, so we can see. So when they put on this VR headset, so they will feel as though they are immersed in a real cell culture environment, okay? So now we are not on headset, so we see like this. This is how it appears by using handphone, but we need to put on the headset, okay? So the students will have a simulated experience on how to perform cell culture by using a BSc, okay, biosafety cabinet. Okay. So we can make our this one choice by just staring at the spot for about 2 seconds. You just look at it for 2 seconds, then you can make the choice. Okay. So not only the step-by-step guidance, so this app also comes with quizzes to help the students to increase their knowledge towards this topic. So interact with the app, yeah, this is wrong. And they have to make another, this one, yeah, answer. Yes. Okay, thank you. Can I stop here? Thank you. Yeah, so after we have developed the app, we have to produce RCT to prove the effectiveness of this app in improving student learning performances. Okay, so we divided students into 2 groups. In the test groups, the student will be exposed to traditional teaching together with Aseptic Tech VR app. So for the control group, the students were only exposed to the traditional teaching without the app. Okay, so we measure the students' learning performances, emotions, learning experiences, and users' acceptance towards the technology. Yeah, so in conclusion, we found out that the use of Aseptic Tech VR is able to improve students' learning performances in terms of cognitive. That means they will have better knowledge towards this topic, and also psychomotor, okay, because they are trained by using the step-by-step instruction, okay? And not only that, the students have also reported to have better positive emotions, strong desire to use the app because of all these advantages listed here, and also they rated the learning experiences at least 4 out of 5. Okay, so Aseptic Tech VR is the first ever cell culture aseptic technique. Okay, so using gaze-based technology with proven effectiveness. And also, so it is a cost-effective application. So when our students use it, so this will help the student to acquire good aseptic technique despite this limitation in the facilities. And also, the student will have better motivation to learn this technique. So to the institution, this will help the institution to save costs because cell culture is very expensive. If we do cell culture right, all the things are very expensive. So this will help to save costs. And also, we'll be able to produce graduates with better skill set and improve their competitiveness. Yeah, last but not least, so I would like to share this. So we started this project back in 2019, before COVID-19. And the year later, CDC, US, Center of Disease Control, US, they launched a similar module like us. However, we do not see it as a threat or competitor because we target totally different population with different technology. So why? You see, So for Aseptic Tech VR, so this user can just use it by using their own handphone with a very basic VR headset as low as 30 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, so this is because they can interact with the app by using gaze-based technology. However, for OneLab VR, okay, so they need to use the very high-tech hardware, which is as high as 4,000 ringgit Malaysian and above. So in order to sense the hand movement of the users, okay? So from here, so because the users can just use their own handphone, right? So there is no limit in terms of the number of users, and they can use it anytime. However, this is not possible with CDC OneLab VR, okay? So in my lab, so my students, I just purchased like 30 VR headset with only 30 ringgit per headset. And at one time, all our students can do this, okay? We do not need to wait for the one by one, okay? And the strong point about this Aseptic Tech VR is that we designed this for our own student needs, okay? Our own local community, because we know what they want, okay? So to summarize, so from this teaching innovation, we received several national and international awards. We also managed to publish in good publications and journals, okay? So we are currently trying to copyright this innovation, okay? So we are currently using it as an effective learning tool for our undergraduates and postgraduates because it is going to train them and also save costs. And at the same time, we are also using it as an engaging STEM education, so for our community outreach in the schools, okay, in the KL area, okay. So an important message that I would like to bring out here is that, as researchers, we do not only identify the needs of bigger or global population. Sometimes we can also be mindful enough to identify the needs of just the people surrounding us, okay? And then we can produce something that will bring impact to our local community, okay? And lastly, I would like to go back to the question that I asked in the beginning of my sharing. So what makes me feel proud as a researcher? So I enjoy being a research lecturer because as lecturer, we can share a lot of knowledge with our students, okay, to educate them to become better persons. And actually, lecturers, at the same time, we are also researchers, and we can even create our own knowledge to be shared with the public. So with a little bit effort that I put, I feel very proud when I can bring the knowledge that I've produced one step level up into something that will bring significant impact to our society. Yeah, so how about all of you? Okay, so that's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tom, for sharing your valuable insights on transforming knowledge into impactful research. And now we would like to open the floor for Q&A. So feel free to ask questions. Any question from the, yes, please.
Okay, thank you for your great presentation. I'm Khairul from University of Malaysia Terengganu. Very interesting, I think, innovation or application. Just want to know if we interested to use your kind of the apps, can we download from the Google Play or Apple App Store?
Yeah.
For time being? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Khairul, for the question. Yeah. So currently, we're in the process of this one copywriting our invention. So after the copyright, I will discuss with our Putra Science Park so to see how we can reach to bigger community. Maybe like what you say, we can just upload, yeah, so in the Google Play so that we can benefit, yeah, bigger population. Yes, so that is our plan in the future. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Khairul from UMT. Okay, any more questions? Yeah, we have one from Prof. PT.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tam, for very interesting works. And I wonder how can you start with this kind of the plans and how you create the research question that is related to this kind of the specific skin disease at the first place?
Okay, all right. So very good question. Prof. PT, thank you very much. So like what I said, so it was a long journey for us. We spent about 10 years. Okay, so actually we are still learning. This is my very first research innovation. So I also learned a lot from the other presenters like Prof. PT. So you can produce your innovation in a very short period. Yeah, so from this, how to say, from our research journey, so we learn along the way. So we identify the market need. I mean, along the way, not from the beginning of the study. So yeah, so I mean in the future, with all the insights from the speakers, so I mean in the future, so we can actually identify the market needs right away in the start of the research. Yeah, so they will make the entire process much faster, just like what, yeah, the other researchers shared just now. Yeah. Okay. However, even though it's a very, how to say, long research journey, I still feel very grateful because, how to say, when we launch a product in the market, we need to be responsible for the market. And some more is like, this product is meant for oral consumption. So we want to make sure that it is safe and with enough efficacy once it is launched in the market. So with 10 years of data, so I am really like convinced that it will be a good market product for the market. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, maybe one last question.
Thank you. Well done, Dr. Tam.
Thank you,
Very
Prof.
interesting one. I just wonder about the safety issue by
Yes.
using the aseptic tech VR, because we using the cell phone directly to
Yes.
have a direct contact
Yes.
with our eyes.
Yes.
So how long we can use for the AR for VR? and how the impact to our eyes.
Yes,
That's right.
correct.
you.
Okay. So of course, when we want to introduce this to the student, first of all, thank you, Prof. Wan, for your question. Okay. So when we want to introduce this app to the students, safety comes first. Okay. Our main concern is student safety. So because of that, if you notice, we purposely divided our module. The module itself is quite long, it's about 30 minutes, but we divided them into 6 modules so that per module, the student can pick the module that they want to try. So we limit the exposure not more than 5 minutes. Yeah, because it is true that sometimes when we use the VR, so they come with like some nausea, dizziness. So we try our best to keep that to the minimum level. Yeah, thank you, Prof. Okay. Yes.
Okay, I think that's all. No more question from the audience. Okay, so thank you very much
Okay,
once again,
thank you,
Dr.
Bang
Tam, for your great sharing. So ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to our last plenary session, right? Okay, we're going to have Prof. Dr. Wan Iriani Wan Ismail from University Malaysia Terengganu. So before that, I would like to introduce Prof. Dr. Wan to all of you. Prof. Dr. Wan Iriani Wan Ismail is a professor at the Faculty of Science and Marine Environment, University Malaysia Terengganu. She earned her PhD in chemical pathology from the University of Cape Town. She has published over 100 works, supervised 30 postgraduate students, and received numerous awards. She has been recognized for her contributions to science, including being listed as one of the top 2% of scientists in the world by Stanford University in 2023. And she was also awarded the L'Oreal UNESCO Fellowship for Women in Science in 2019. So the floor is yours, Prof.
All right, thank you to Ms. Chairperson, and thank you to Elsevier and also UMK for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful event. Okay, I believe this topic is quite heavy for this afternoon, okay, but we'll try to make it as simple as possible. We'll try to relate with our real life as academic staff, because we know nowadays it's very challenging. We're having a lot of new technology, new approach in terms of our teaching, our research, and so on. So definitely, I would like to refresh. Okay, we together to refresh back. Okay, about our scholar soul, scholar identity as an academic staff. Okay, so from there, I would like to deliver this topic in terms of building future minds at the higher education. All right, so I would like to quote definition of higher education based on UNESCO. Definitely, higher education will refer to all types of education, not only limited to the university, but also related to vocational training and also advanced research. So once we talk about higher education, they have at least 5 these stakeholders. But for today, I would like to focus more on the students and also academic staff, we as academic staff. And again, I would like to refer in terms of future minds at the higher education, also based on the UNESCO definition. We know that future minds refer to the our global landscape. We keep changing from time to time. So that definitely we need to find out how we can address this kind of changes throughout the world. And hopefully by producing future minds at higher education, we can encounter all these type of challenges, but through the teaching, learning, and also innovation in the future. But luckily in Malaysia, we have this Malaysia Education Blueprint. So we focus on the 10 shift or 10 lonjakan ni. So at least we know our direction in terms of our higher education. But I believe we are going to have a new Malaysia Education Blueprint soon. Okay, but at least we know we have this blueprint to guide us to become as an academic staff and hopefully as a scholar at the higher education. So how we can build this kind of future minds at higher education? We need to know the challenges and at the higher education. This all what's happened throughout the world. Definitely, I'm not focusing this thing, okay? Because I want us to be more realistic about what's going on in Malaysia, okay? Especially us as academic staff. I believe everybody facing the same problem nowadays. And so we want to go far. We want to highlight more in terms of advanced teaching. I want to have more commercialization. We want to have more good students. But we need to be realistic. What actually is going on in Malaysia, for example? I believe we have a problem in terms of students. Now they are lacking interest to further their study. Okay, not only at the university, but mostly after SPM. We're still having problem in terms of graduate employability. We need to think about more relevant curriculum, mental health issues, getting serious from time to time, and academic burden. But I'm very impressed what Dr. Tam just shared just now. She managed to balance all the teaching, research, and commercialization at the same time. But because of this academic burden, I would like to discuss a little bit about we are lacking in terms of academic soul and also identity among academic staff, and we are missing the culture to become as a scholar at the higher education. So these challenges, number 1 to 4, mostly affected our students, and number 4 as well affected our lecturers until to number 7. So we go first to the first challenge here. Okay, first 3 challenges here. Student lacks interest in study. We having problem in terms of graduate employability and also relevant curriculum. So this is quite recent. It's quite recent. We know that about 10,000 students did not sit for their SPM. Okay, this is a serious issue actually. So because we are losing future students for us at higher education. So if we don't have student, how come? Takut kita retire awal sangat, tak ada student nanti. Kan? That's actually the issue we are facing. Okay, we need to go back to our reality. And the second issue, not many aware, maybe too small here, but I will read for you. Okay, here they mention about 72.1% of Malaysians do not want to further their studies after SPM. About 390,000 out of 560,000 SPM candidates were not interested to further their study. So, macam mana tu? So we want to go far now. We want facing all the future challenges. But this reality, how we want to encounter this kind of problem. Dah letak data SPM. Yang lepas SPM, more than 70%, they're not interested to further their study. So only 20% plus. And so how we want to encounter this problem to make it higher education relevant throughout the time. Okay? And why this happened? Okay, why this happened? Yeah, we cannot blame, definitely we cannot blame for this economy, gig economy. But that's reality. We know many students, they're looking for fast income. Okay, they want to support their family. Okay, now living costs getting higher and higher. Okay, that's reality. So they're looking for Shopee, Grab rider, and so on as their source of fast income. That's reality. But how to address the issue, so how we can make it, this gig economy as a part of our curriculum. That's we need to think after this. And not only because of this fast income, another reason why we are losing our students because of current trend. But if we have more Cairo Aming, it's okay. Well, we're happy to have more Cairo Aming. And with education degree in engineering, but also success in terms of entrepreneur. We are looking for this kind of icon and to highlight this kind of a person to attract to attract more students to go to higher education. Okay? And another thing, while we are losing our student now, tengok gaji lepasan SPM, diploma, degree, 1,500. So, what the purpose to further study at university? So, this kind we need to aware what's going on out there to make it our curriculum more relevant and how we can use the current challenges as a part of opportunity to attract them to engage with this future student to go to university. Okay? I'm not sure there's another issue. Either are you aware or not, our student, they are no longer stronger as us. And but too many assignments sikit, alamak. And tak sempat siap kan? Tak sempat siap satu, tiba-tiba dah MC dah. Dapat surat, the student warded because of mental health, because too stress. Too stress because of too many assignments and so on. I'm not sure whether you're aware or not, but have a lot of discussion with my friends throughout Malaysia. They are facing the same problem. Our students, they are having low resilience and compared to the old time. So we need to aware this one. Why? It's related to mental health issues and getting bigger and bigger. For example, in US, from 20 million, 19.9 million having mental health issue. Look at US. What happened in Malaysia? This is quite recent report by Arifin et al. Our students, 68.9, almost 70%, they are having psychological distress. Yang tadi tu dah tak banyak yang masuk university. Yang masuk university pun almost 70% they have psychological distress. 72.7% have anxiety, and about 60% having depression. So, macam mana tu? You want to make sure they excel in their education. But we having this kind of problem, not only student, us as well, stress. Student tak datang ke kelas. Stress, student tak siap assignment, they not come for the exam and so on. Okay, so the mental health issue also affected both lah, student and also us as academic staff. So that's why, that's all we need aware. We need to aware this kind of challenges before we manage to create and future curriculum, future minds that are relevant throughout the time. Okay, that's what's happened to our student. And then we go to what's happened to our lecturer. Dia tak gerak. Tak boleh bergerak. Sorry, cannot move. Next slide. I'm not sure why you cannot move to the next slide. Okay, never mind. Continue. Right, try. All right. Okay, thank you. Sorry for the hiccup. All right. So that's what's happened to our student. And now we move on to our academic staff as a lecturer. So we no longer can compare our time with past time. And definitely totally different lah. Last time we have only OHP, something like that. But now we need to adapt with all the VR and through online teaching and so on. So we need to have very high skill in terms of technology, and our task no longer limited to the teaching and research only. We need to think about our society, what our responsibility to our country, and so on. Okay, and we need to aware we having different type of student nowadays with all these challenges, including the mental health issues. So that's why we having a next challenge. We having more and more academic burden. So we need to think about that. Okay, all this, I believe beyond this one, you are quite aware about this viral punya task ni, lecturer do ni. But what I'm trying to highlight here is about, because of all these challenges, okay, we are looking at true leader, true scholar from academic staff to help our student as a future minds. Because of all these challenges, most of us lost their direction. Okay, orang kata tired lah, exhausted, and the lack of a motivation, and no longer have a happiness in that, higher happiness in that, in terms of teaching and doing the research, and more issue related integrity issue, because we heard a lot, also because of career development, they want to go to a higher level as soon as possible. There's a lot of integrity issues also occur. There are a lot challenges in terms of career development, and many of course not we here, maybe people out there, they're just focusing on their individual goals instead of their institutional and also national aspiration. And when talk about moral adab akhlak, another thing lah, we're facing a lot of issue, no respect from among peer and so on. That's another thing lah. And hopefully today we can find out the best model how we can adapt this all kind of challenges to create more future minds at higher education. So all these challenges, tak gerak lagi. Tak boleh gerak lagi lah. Dia tahu semua ngantuk Tu bahas. Okay. Tak boleh ya? Okay. Okay, dia pun mengantuk juga tu. Alright. So, all these challenges, definitely we need to address these challenges that require innovation and how to adapt, and also need to collaborate with all the stakeholders, including policymakers, educators, students, and others from the higher education. But for this, for today, I would like to focus more on our students and also academic staff. This only my suggestion lah. Okay? We can think whether all these challenges we can encounter with a few suggestions here. Okay, for example, I would like to highlight here, we need to think about how to how to nurture our student as a future leaders. We need to bring more role model, more success role model to show to student, if you want to become as a content creator, can be like this. Okay, but with degrees, with the knowledge, strong knowledge, and also all the basic information that can support them to go further, far compared to the other content creator. And from there as well, hopefully we can nurture our academic staff with scholar soul and identity, and hopefully from there we can have our academic staff with a future mind. So the first one, how to have a student as future leaders and role models. Okay, first we have no choice to help our student to help our students to have a strong foundation of knowledge. Okay, we have that's how to do it. It is interconnected with the creativity and innovation. Okay, like Dr. Tam just shared just now, that's the way. That's, for example, how we can have engagement, interaction with our student. So make sure they have very strong foundation about the knowledge, because since you have very strong foundation of knowledge, you can do everything. You can do so many things. What I'm trying to say is you can do so many things, and then you can apply the fundamental knowledge and to become to commercialize a product and so on. Okay, and then we need to train our student not only to as a job seeker, as like Prof. Shahir just mentioned this morning. So we need to train our student to become a job creation. Not only looking for a job for their income and so on, and how we need to train them with high resilience, with morality and ethics and compassion. That's all we need to embed it in our future-proof curriculum. Okay. So here, I'm happy to share that actually our countries they know about these current challenges. That's why, for example, MTDC already proposed PhDpreneur here like this. That's another example that how we can help our students in terms of job creation. And so we can use a PhD project as become one of the example to create their own company and so on. Here, so I would like to share with my student. This is my student himself. Okay, like Dr. Muhammad Ashraf Adwa. He's become a director of Bioinnospheres Labs. Okay, very young, convo this October, but already managed to develop a company. And I'm just orang kata sebagai advisor lah. Advisor. All right, thank you. Okay, advisor. So he managed, okay, the way how I train them, because I need to identify what the real challenge out there, but at the same time, I need to know their strength. Okay? So this student, for example, Dr. Ashraf, okay, I know his strength, he knows how to convince people. Okay, so from the day one of his PhD study, I groomed her. I invite him to join my meeting with industrial partner and so on. So before graduation, he managed to get 3 big projects already. Okay, to become as research consultant to the 3 big project, the 3 big companies out there. Okay, so he managed to hire more his friends to become his staff. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say as a job creation. Very young, 24 years old, but managed to build a company and managed to hire more staff under his company. And more projects coming now, but I cannot share the latest one, but that's what I'm trying to say. He managed to go very far from the correct punya approach. And then I also have my second student here, Dr. Suhana Samad. I'm not sure whether you're aware or not about Olive Jardin. Kelantan, the original from Kelantan. Can we know that about Olive House? And actually another big olive company in Malaysia is owned by Olive Jardin. And one of my students actually managed to bring this company at the international level. Okay, how he make it? I make sure she have very strong fundamental knowledge. Okay, foundation of the knowledge. So she managed to apply or implement the basic knowledge in the lab to the international level. So she recognized, she is quite aware about the rule and regulation at the international level. Okay, so from there, she implement what she learned in the lab at the international level. So now, Olive Jardin is one of the big olive oil company. They managed to import olive oil from Morocco. And now I think it's getting bigger, bigger and bigger from time to time. Okay, so my student is one of the person who managed to bring this company into the higher level. Okay, so and many more example I can share if possible in the future. So how actually I managed to help my student to be more futuristic about what's going on in the future, how they can make it they are relevant to the national and also international level. Actually, I always follow what's going on, what any discussion or any big issue discussed at the World Economic Forum. Okay, World Economic Forum. Actually, if you want to know any trend and any trend now, back or later on in the future, mostly discussed here. Okay, mostly discussed at the World Economic Forum actually. About AI, that's 10 years ago, they discussed it already. And so, like this Ray Dalio, he's a very big person, the first big investment company, and we are lucky he also sponsor one of the project at UMT at this moment. Yeah, so this guy, he produced this firm when he was 12 years old. Okay, 12 years old, established investment firm. Okay, so from there, he studied all the world trend. So from there, he knows what actually the best approach during the time and back in the future. And so from there, he listed at least 5 trends, and nowadays can shape our global issue related to debt, population, conflict, climate, and technology. If you want to know more about this, you can go direct to the World Economic Forum lah. All right, so that's one approach I would like to share here. And the other one is about that I like to share about what's have discovered by this scholar. It's a very long time ago by Ibn Khaldun. Ibn Khaldun is a pioneer in terms of history, education, or also economy. Okay, sorry. Okay, so who is this Ibn Khaldun? He is a pioneer, as I mentioned to you. Actually, he provided us with a very futuristic punya insight. Okay, okay, futuristic punya insight. His idea is to foster academic staff, not only excel in their fields, but also help society. Itu main point yang Ibn Khaldun mentioned in his book lah. Okay, and also what Ibn Khaldun mentioned is about how we can nurture a scholar's soul and also identity. It's all about ilmu or knowledge. Okay? How from the holistic knowledge, this can become as a true knowledge that involve a deep understanding of societal dynamics, ethics, and a broader context of human experience. And also he highlighted about integration of knowledge. Okay. Sorry, I was going to menangis sikit batuk. Okay. So this Ibn Khaldun actually, he believed that knowledge can contribute more to the betterment of society and also for advancement of human understanding by doing this integration of knowledge. Okay, we need to have a strong fundamental and foundation of knowledge. Then from there we need to have integration or interdiscipline punya collaboration works to make sure we can go very far. Memang saya batuk sorry . Tak maaf lah, saya tahu tiba-tiba batuk, habuk apa kan. So this Ibn Khaldun also share about the concept of scholar role. So this scholar have a duty not only to advance their discipline, but also to serve society. But please be aware in mind that we need to have a strong, a very high integrity, a very good moral to support this concept of scholar has become as a fundamental knowledge. Okay. So what I would like to highlight here, there's knowledge lah, idea from this Ibn Khaldun mention about ilmu. Ni memang panjang. This Ibn Khaldun truly emphasize about the knowledge. But di situ dia menyatakan knowledge ni penting. Ilmu menurutnya boleh meningkatkan pemikiran dan memberi kesan kepada pembentukan jiwa. Ia amat mustahak bagi membangun tamadun tinggi. So banyak dibagi, there's two example. There's many cities, many countries, they can develop based on knowledge. But what I'm trying to highlight here is about how to make sure this knowledge can give as much as possible benefits to students, to society, and also to the country. He highlighted about the importance of guru. And we as ahli academic, to become a scholar, we need to know how to teach properly. Agar mengetahui kaedah mengajar yang betul. Tanpa kaedah pengajaran yang betul, guru boleh membingungkan pelajar mereka sehingga mereka menganggap belajar itu adalah sesuatu yang sukar. Ia menjadikan pelajar jemu dan bosan dengan pelajaran. Kemudian murid hilang semangat belajar dan menjauhkan diri dari ilmu. So this actually very big, discussion about the idea or knowledge from the Ibn Khaldun, but he highlighted more about us as a guru here as an academic staff lah at university level. That's how Ibn Khaldun highlighted the importance to have a soul and also a scholar identity as academic staff. So this is my suggestion here, how we can build our academic staff with a scholar soul and identity. Definitely we can try to cultivate sense of purpose beyond KPI oriented. KPI only one of the destination only, orang kata kan. We need to go through all the journey as academic staff. So KPI only one the milestone only, and not the final goal that we want to achieve in our career, in our life. Then we need to fostering integrity and ethics, encourage more interdisciplinary collaboration, nurture continuous growth and learning. We need to have create a supportive environment to our academic staff, and we have more engagement with our community. That's how we can build our academic staff with a scholar soul and identity. And then how to make sure we are relevant and throughout the time with the future minds. From my experience, we need to learn from history, and from the power of history is very powerful actually. And I will share to you some example later on. And then from there, we also need to aware about any changes and any related changes occur related to higher education, for example. And from there, actually, we are able to predict, even not 100% similar, at least we will we manage to have, we can predict what's going on in the future. And again, we need to have a strong fundamental of knowledge. And then from there, we can produce more application from the knowledge. We need to become a trend-setting, not only follow the trend. Sometimes there's another thing lah. Sometimes it's very tiring. If you just follow, people do this, we also do this. Actually, we at higher education, we need to have our own policy on hala tuju. And kat Malaysia, khususnya kat Malaysia lah. Sometimes very difficult lah nak follow so many things throughout the world. And then we need to be more creative and open mind with any research outputs, sharing and so on. Aim big. For example, I will show to you later on. Let's say, as I mentioned to you, the KPI only a part of the journey, but supposed to be we need to aim bigger than KPI, and we need to have more passion and consistent in our journey, respect and also appreciate others, and make sure what we have done, what we're going to do will give as much as possible benefits to the others. I would like to share the goreng pisang story here, and I'm not sure you are known or not about goreng pisang story. Sure, tak ada? Okay. Very interesting. I thought this never happened at the higher education, but it's happened. Maksudnya like this. Let's say we have a one stall, sell goreng pisang. So many people come to the stall, buy goreng pisang, very nice, very famous, viral. Okay, and a month later, have another second stall also sell goreng pisang. So more customer come and create more profits and so on. Third stall come also goreng pisang. Then that's about why we want to follow the trend. Supposed to be if we have one very good stall sell goreng pisang, so we establish another stall sell water, juice, something like that. So the mind, and we need to set our mindset, not just follow the trend. We need to be creative and to complement each other to give benefit as much possible to the others. Okay, that's a very small thing, but actually it's very relevant at the higher education. Okay, so almost the end actually. So I just share a little bit and how I implement all this information. So how we want to make sure, I'm also learning, so I also learn from the others, but I just managed to list, I listed here, at least to become as a guideline to us, to make sure we can create a better future in the future, okay? So for example, I'm involved in the beekeeping research industry in Malaysia. Okay, it's very challenging actually. It's not easy journey, but how this past 10 years, okay, what I have learned from this journey, I learned from the past. Okay, I learned from the past what's going on with the beekeeping industry in Malaysia. Okay, they started in 1980s. But why in late 1999 and early 2000, we having collapse here. And beekeeping collapse. And almost during the time we are facing no honey at all during the time. Sebenarnya, ramai tak tahu. There's history. And then, but at the same time, too many honey sold in the market. And bee almost extinct because of virus infection during the time. That's why they cannot produce honey. But at the same time, there's too many honey in the market. So from the history, actually, we learn there's a lot of fake honey in the market actually. Okay, fake honey in the market. And then from there, actually, at the same time, how to recover from the problem, the challenge. So Malaysia proposed stingless bee honey. Okay, stingless bee honey in 2008, 2010 actually, during the time, to overcome problem related to honeybee, and because they almost extinct because of viral infection. Okay, and then so because we know that because I'm observed this history, and we know why this industry almost collapsed because of viral infection, because of lacking in terms of quarantine punya practice, and they have low practice in terms of quarantine procedure. They imported beehive from overseas, and that's contaminated with virus. Then this contaminated colonies infected our local bees. They will will destroy most of our bees in Malaysia. So we learn from there. Actually, we need to have very strong policy how to make sure we can preserve our local bees, by introducing strong quarantine procedure and policy during that time. And at the same time, we also learn that there were a lot of fake honey in the market. So what we can learn from the history? So we produce Malaysian standard to control the production of fake honey in the market. From the Malaysian standard, and we managed to produce the first stingless bee honey standard, okay, in 2017. Because we learned from the past, we want to protect our local honey from the fake honey issue. So we need to have a strong policy, a guideline, how to prevent such kind of problem. So that's why we, during the time, even maksudnya demand not too much to the honey, but we already introduce, because we want to prevent the same history occur in the future, okay, and many more. So from the history, what we have learned, then we can predict in the future might be happen. So we can do such kind of preparation and related action to prevent from the same problems in the future. And also we need to recognize who people involved in the industry, and we learn from them. We respect them. We learn from them, so we can repeat the same problem. Actually, we can go further. We can go far by learning from the others. So we also can make sure no redundancy occur in the industry, also in the research. From there also, we managed to have very strong fundamental and foundation of knowledge in terms of honey. So because from our research, we know how to differentiate between pure honey and fake honey. Very simple thing. And just managed to recognize, how to identify this one pure honey, this one fake honey. But because of this knowledge, okay, we managed to produce policy at the national level. Okay, the first Malaysian standard based on our data. Okay, so you can see this fundamental, but managed to translate into to the policy practice at least at the national level. And from there as well, from this strong foundation of fundamental knowledge, that's what happened to my student. Actually, she one of my students involved in identification of the pure and fake honey. That she used the knowledge to recognize which one pure olive oil and which one fake olive oil. Because olive oil is food product number 1. Now number 2 lah. The most fake food in the world is number 1, milk or olive oil. Either one lah. They sometimes compete to each other. But at least olive oil, milk and honey is the most fake food in the market. So we need to have a strong foundation in terms of knowledge, how to recognize, how to identify this type of purity of this honey. Okay, and from there as well, from this fundamental knowledge, we managed to create more products. Okay, for example here, because we also we also tested the honey on the rat. Okay, from here we can see pure honey will give good effect to the liver formation of the in the rat, but a fake honey will cause a lot of damages. And we can see the liver dia pecah-pecah because of fake honey consumption. Okay, from this knowledge, we also produce many products. For example, like honey beads, Be Ready, also next Sleep Fix. So all these products actually have a basic dia, fundamental based on this fundamental of knowledge. So what I'm trying to say here, if we have a strong fundamental of knowledge, a strong foundation of knowledge, we can create so many things from the knowledge itself. And even we can commercialize all this product to the higher level. Not only that, as I mentioned to you, from the knowledge, we managed to produce policy at the national level, to produce Malaysian standard. Okay, we also managed to produce 10 years strategic plans to establish, to help beekeeping industry in Malaysia, down there here. So we definitely, if we we don't learn from the history, we don't have a strong foundation knowledge, we're not able to produce this kind of policy at the national level. Okay, so why I'm happy to involve in this research and industry? Actually, I'm looking for the big goal, big aim here is about actually honey can be as a new commodity in Malaysia. Okay, now we have getah, sarawak, and so on. But I'm aiming for the bigger goal, and not only to produce commercialized product, but I'm looking for the whole process or in a bigger scale. Because I know if a honey can become as a new commodity to country, it will give a lot of benefits to not only to the beekeepers, but also to our society and also to our country. So they will give bigger impacts. So that's why we need to have bigger aim in every, especially in our research and also as academic staff. And all the KPIs will come together along the way once we want to achieve this, the biggest goal, as I mentioned to you here. Okay? And then I almost done. That's just briefly what I would like to share today. As a conclusion, okay, as a conclusion here, how we want to, yeah, that's my dream, myself as well, to see more scholar punya environment. Okay, we have we can nurture more students to become as future leaders and also as become role models. And so they definitely, we as a teacher, educator, we want to see how students can go further, can go far and beyond our achievement. And so the issue we have losing our students on, hopefully we can overcome by being show the good example, good role model, at least at the national level. And hopefully by cultivating, and hopefully we can nurture our me myself, our academic staff, to have a real or true scholar soul and identity with future mind. Hopefully we can have, we have many, but we not truly put them in front. Okay? At least we expose them. This example, we as scholar, as academic staff, actually really help our society and country. And we have a very strong scholar soul and identity, but in terms of not a proper strategy, we need to rethink about that, how we can bring our academic staff as a good, true scholar at the national and also international level. And hopefully, by creating a positive scholar environment and culture, we can produce good students, we can produce very excellent academic staff, and will help our also society and also our country, our beloved country, to go to the higher level. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. That was very engaging and I think very much relevant, especially to all of us, the academic staff. Thank you very much once again, Prof. So let's open for Q&A. Any question from the audience? Takut dah petang ni dah tak ada soalan ke? Sebentar lagi kita akan ada a short break, 15 minutes coffee break. Ada apa-apa soalan? Any question untuk Prof? Tak ada, Prof? Okay, so thank you very much, Prof. So ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a short break. You're given around 15 minutes to have the refreshment that is served at the back. Okay, and then we'll resume our session with the panel discussion right after that. Thank you.